players. We were speaking with Tara before. They'd sent some off to Brisbane. They've got one from Newcastle, so we keep getting them and borrowing them.
Look at all those internationals. Could it be the day for Claire Emsley as well, the Scottish international, to open her W League account? She's had a few chances so far. Little injury concern last week, but no strapping on the knee tonight, which is a really good sign. As we check the team news, and Melbourne City do make one alteration, and they bring in the milestone player, Kaya Simon. She starts her 100th W League game tonight. Lauren Barnes drops back to the bench, so perhaps a back four after they've been playing the back three with wing backs in recent weeks. Could be a little alteration from Rado Vidicic's side. The Perth Glory also make one change to their 11. Sarah Carroll, starting fullback last week, she drops out, and Julia Sardo comes in to play the right back role. Sardo is a native of Melbourne. She actually trialled with City a month or two ago, turned down by them, picked up a deal with the Glory, so she'll have a point to prove here this evening. It's a bit of a rain reunion tonight as well, Kate Gill. They've got 6 players out on loan around the world, that NWSL franchise. 5 of them are on the team sheet tonight.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's good to see that they do keep coming back, and that continuity in the internationals that are sitting within the City team as well.
Yeah, 3 playing for City. Williams, Catley in the starting lineup, Barnes off the bench, and then Celia and Andrews for the Glory, all part of that Rain FC lineup. But so much of the talk heading into this game has been about the 28-year-old Matilda Kaya Simon. Debuted as a Central Coast Mariner in season 1, played 9 games for that club, 68 more for Sydney FC, and this her 23rd for Melbourne City, all adding up to the ton for the 3-time championship winner. She mentioned pre-game that they were the highlights so far in her W League career, lifting those trophies. So it's Perth who kick things off, still hunting their first win of the season, trying to get right on the front foot against Melbourne City. And maintaining possession nicely through Celia, their Spanish international. One to chase here for Jukic. And Checker closed down. Good positive start from the visitors. You saw what Melbourne City said they'd go with on the team formation on the team sheet. What are they going with?
Yeah, they're set up as a 4-4-3, really. Just through the middle, you see Kinga drop back in there. They'll keep Emily up a bit higher, and then that flat 3 up the front. But you'll also see Emsley just drop into the space as well.
Former Matilda Kate Gill alongside for commentary tonight, and Kim Carroll, another Matilda's stalwart of years gone by, letting that one go out for the goal kick, coming off her first goal for the Glory last week. A very handy one in the 90th minute.
Yeah, not a bad time to pop up and score, and I think it had been a long time between drinks. I was still playing at that time. That's how long it was.
3 goals in her 108-game career now. Eliza Campbell. See that ball struggling to penetrate the breeze. Same direction we saw last week at this venue in the derby. Not as strong, though.
You see Thomas chasing that down. She does have some pace about her, but it's really hard to replicate when you're trying to replace Hill and Mortz and Kerr.
Jukic able to flick it on. Thomas trying to get away from Checker, who read it nicely and found Mijatovic. Catley finds the feet of Emsley. Possession well maintained by the home team. And now working their way up the pitch. Emsley tries the extravagant switch out towards Kaya Simon, but it favoured the new Glory skipper this season. Natasha Rigby took the armband away from Sam Kerr as she departed. Pressure on Campbell. Confident with the ball at her feet, though. Sardo couldn't maintain possession. Mijatovic on the move. Kinga, the hero from last week's derby, helps it on to Carpenter. Always a willing runner and tough to adjust. Kaya Simon can't direct the header on target.
Yeah, good build-up there from City. You could see them press early. As soon as Campbell took that touch, they were onto it. King is able to transition the ball, move it across, and the ball in was whipped in hard from Carpenter, and Kaya just can't adjust the body. She's almost in front of it, leading behind, and not really going to get much on that.
They do have a great ability to find one another, though. That's the top shot assist combo in the W League so far.
Yeah.
Carpenter to Kaya Simon.
No, exactly right. It's always one of those, you know, when the ball goes in the box, it's the striker's fault for not being in the right place.
Andrews with the outside of the boot. Nice idea, trying to find McKenna. Now Catley striding out. Great to see her moving that well after she had the ACL test last week. And look at the weight on that pass for Emsley. Got it over the initial defender. Now Van Egmond picks up the scraps and fell of her own accord. And they can let that one go out for the goal kick again. Emsley complaining to the referee about the way she was being handled there. Kelly Jones in charge tonight. Campbell with a couple of Matildas caps under her belt as well. Debuted against China in 2017. Andrews nudged over.
It was just 2-on-1 in there. She tried to get her body in the way, and two City players around her.
Former US Youth International. Number 3 draft pick in the NWSL draft, which takes some doing. So she's got some talent. Handy pick up from Perth. Van Egmond to Simon. Matildas everywhere you look for the team in sky blue.
It's well done there by Tash Rigby. Just stayed tight. Did give a foul away, but it's not bad giving a foul away then. Just get time to reset.
Touch getting away from Mijatovic. So look at Rigby's work earlier. Kaya Simon didn't exactly appreciate it.
Nah, I think Rigby was just letting her know she was there.
Congrats on your 100th and all that. Do you think City have changed their approach due to the opponent today, or is it something they needed to do to get a bit more fluency?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with the fluency. I think it's being comfortable to knock the ball around. We know that they do, and it's just having that patience as well. And I really like the way that they just can interchange between players, especially through that midfield. One person comes into the space, the other one fields the other. So it's really good to watch them when they can circulate the ball and then get out wide. And it's just about having those runners that are in the box when the balls are delivered.
Wins over the reigning champions and premiers the last 2 weeks for Rado Vidicic. Now he can finish it all off with a 5th win on the bounce against last year's grand finalists. Of course, Perth led to the final day of the season by Sam Kerr and all her goals. I noticed on social media today that Sam Kerr finished up her pre-season to get ready for the campaign with Chelsea by training alongside the West Coast Eagles AFLW team.
Did see that. I think she's donned the #1 ticket holder as well.
We wish her well in the UK. So heading into that crucial Olympic year for the Matildas as well. Emma Checker on the fringes, hoping to nail down a spot in the coming years at international level. Got a chance in the recent series. The Rain teammates head-to-head there. Catley against Andrews out on that far side of the pitch. Neat turn from Mijatovic. Serbian star. Well-weighted pass for Carpenter as well. Movement from Van Egmond.
Just don't think you appreciate Mijatovic on the ball there, the touch and then the fluency to keep it and get it out from under her feet.
Breaks the way of Simon. Thought about using Carpenter, turns away, used her as a decoy instead. Happy to recycle through Ivy Lewick, who keeps things ticking in City's midfield. Emsley lets the air out of the balloon a little.
Yeah, he's just trying to slip that one around the corner there to Mijatovic. Just had a bit too much on it. They just needed to take the weight off it. Could have had a touch, opened up, she would have been going forward.
Looks like a player that just wants that goal and it'd be a huge weight off her shoulders.
Yeah, just itching and itching. Sometimes that's the hardest. Everything you touch, it doesn't really come off.
Lewick. Kinga. You see a pass she liked initially. Catley. A misunderstanding. Mijatovic keeps it alive. Great poise there from McKenna. Had no one to go to forward. Able to utilise Sardo.
And this is what's hard for Perth. They do win the ball back, but they're still so deep and then they don't have options. And it's just a long one up the top. And that's where they're turning the ball over. And it's especially hard when you're not seeing much of it.
Lydia Williams, a long way out of goal to help launch another attack. Mijatovic has Catley overlapping this time. And Egmond will use Matilda's teammate. Catley whips it in with real pace. Campbell fumbles. Has time to retrieve the situation ahead of Kai Simon.
It's another good ball in by Steph Catley. You can see the run that Simon was trying to make. Just needed a bit more on it to get to that front post. The ball probably wasn't great from Steph. Too close to Campbell there.
Foot race here that Checker just won. Pressure being put on by the pacey Crystal Thomas. Plays for the Washington Spirit in the NWSL. The number 9 for the Glory. Scored 3 goals in that competition in the 2019 season. Plenty of entertainment for those fans who've crammed into that stand on the far side. A lot of the action is out on that far side so far. Catley seeing plenty of it. Stott thinking about using the left back again. Looks for Emsley instead, and Romero across.
Yeah, not the best ball there by Stott, but she really is dangerous when she does that, when she attacks the space and she drives through the midfield there. Just that run as well, to just peel out a little bit more, it gives more of an angle for Stott to hit.
Debuted against the Glories, an 18-year-old, way back in 2011. And Egmont takes that free kick quickly. A few heads were turned around and Melbourne City tried to catch Perth napping. Again, we expected Melbourne City to dominate possession. That's certainly been the case so far. Carpenter and Simon trying to combine again. Celia with a good turn of speed to shepherd that one out. Speaking of debuts against Perth, Steph Catley is a 15-year-old in 2009. Also scored her first W-League goal against tonight's opponent. That was in 2011. Carroll, the lefty. Only find Carpenter, who switches it up for her fellow fullback immediately.
And Perth again, it's just that possession and they just can't get out of their half. They're so deep.
Difficult ground to come to and adjust to when the breeze is right into their faces in this first half. Sun also an issue for them to see teammates further up the pitch. Clever pass for Carpenter, left by Van Egmond. Emsley presents, Van Egmond doesn't use, and Simon gives it away. 50-50 on halfway, won well by McKenna. Jukic trying to put it out in front of Thomas. Checker forcing her wide. What can the American come up with? Back to the Spanish international, Celia. All the way back to Carroll, but this is the most advanced they've been with this kind of possession, the Glory.
Yeah, good patient build-up. I mean, it probably didn't go according to plan with that ball from Uric. Just need a bit more space for Thomas to run into, but they've done well to hand it over. Commentators care they've just turned it over, but that was probably the best bit of possession there for Perth.
Pressure on Williams, but she wasn't worried about it. Perth have scored just 3 goals this season. Melbourne City have conceded only 3. Had lost 3 on the bounce to start the campaign, Perth, before snatching that point last week.
There's a couple of times it's just been that little mix-up with Catley and Emsley, and it's Emsley's put her head down when Catley's gone to make the pass, so she can't change her mind.
Lewick turned away from one, but couldn't find a way past Celia. Got a teammate in the middle, couldn't slide it past Van Egmond though. How quick will City go? Perth had cover defensively, so Melbourne City had to be patient once more. And misplaced pass from Stott this time. Last game for Melbourne City until the new year. The next one away to Brisbane on January 2. Perth have got a home game next week against the Victory on the 28th at Dorrien Gardens for those Glory fans planning their festive period.
Smart there by Celia, just uses her body really, really well. She knows Lewick's not going to get it. Just watch it go over the sideline and return possession.
8th meeting between those two clubs. City shading it, 4 wins to 3 so far. Never been a draw between these two. Stott did well after being beaten initially there by Jukic. Celia really keeping her opponents honest here, forcing Carpenter backwards. Now Simon, Rigby not allowing her to turn either. It's a clear focus in the team talk. Don't let these City players turn.
Yeah, and that's when Perth need to take advantage of that. When they've got the numbers and they're close, they really need to press. And everyone needs to step up and press together and not let City get out.
There's the turnover created. Misplaced pass, though, from Celia. Couldn't connect with May. And now the counter-attack is on from City. Not sure how many we'll see of those, but May able to help retrieve the situation. Stands on the ball at the right time as well. McKenna able to keep it moving for Celia. And better signs for Perth in the last few minutes.
Yeah, still the danger for Perth is when they get stretched. If they are up and they are pressing, they need to go as a unit, because when they do turn it over just then, City have space, and they have space in front to hit them. And the applause from the Perth dugout after the defensive work of Celia, forcing City backwards once more. Williams distribution, finding Catley. Gets it back from Lewick. Van Egmond roaming around the ABD Stadium pitch so far.
Yukari Kinga scored the latest ever winner in a Melbourne derby last week, the 89th minute. So both of these teams with late shows. Emsley able to get a head up and go back post for Simon to rise. Almost got the better of Rigby. Just sailed away on the breeze a little for both of them in the end.
Time, now, time.
Emsley again, chance to keep this one going. Rigby coming up with a couple of handy contributions, and the foul is given as Thomas was chopped down by Stott.
It's really good by Perth. City were moving the ball around. They do want to keep it on the deck, and she's chopped down in the back there, but it's good that they can now take a breather and gather themselves.
They've committed a fair few forward here, trying to get a flick on from the likes of Andrews and Celia. Found the Spaniard, who poked it away from Carpenter. Grateful she had backup in the form of Rebecca Stott, but Celia gets across again. Great athlete. Been to 2 World Cups with Spain.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of defensive work there. She's really shutting down the ball, not giving Kai any time when she's on it, and Ellie as well.
Do your best with that, Ellie Carpenter, and she did. Dragged it out of the sky. And there's a whistle that is puzzling a few here. Free kick has gone against Melbourne City. Kate Gill, answers on a postcard, please.
I think they're claiming that it might have just come off Ellie's hand from that ball that came back from Emily. I know I didn't see much from here.
I thought she used the left foot to control the ball that was travelling from Van Egmond, but we didn't have as good an angle as the referee, who saw her hands. Still puzzling Ellie, I think. Bonus set piece for the Glory. Lydia Williams comes and plucks it out of the sky. Bowls it out to Kinga, who has no one ahead of her.
No, that's not going to trouble Williams, that one. Just way too close for their easy pickings.
Look at that switch, nonchalant from the World Cup winner with Japan, silver medalist as well at the London 2012 games. Little 1-2. Catley driving inside, she's chopped down. And a good place for a set piece down breeze here for City.
Yeah, McKenna just getting a foot there, but getting all of Steph Catley with it. No ball in that one. Just see it in here. McKenna's foot definitely doesn't go anywhere near the ball. Rightly so.
Eliza Campbell taking great care with her wall here. It would favour Van Egmond. Emsley's left the scene. Still got the lefty in Catley there, just to try and keep the goalkeeper in 2 minds. Van Egmond 3 goals already this season. Had a penalty saved at this end last week in the derby. Van Egmond keeps it low. Nice idea. Had Campbell wrong-footed, but couldn't squeeze it in that post.
She struck it well, Emily. I think she's hit that one full tilt, straight through. You see what she was trying to do. Don't think Campbell was going to get a hand to that if it was travelling through. Not much in that.
Leads the league in shots on target percentage, but it takes a bit of a hit there. Not too far away, though.
No, not at all.
double team on Carpenter, taking away that time.
It's hard for Perth. They put the pressure on, but then there's just no outlet for them. The only real option is to go long. But you want to go long into someone who's going to hold the ball up for you.
Very little comfortable possession, and that's a clever little flick to get the better of Checker from Thomas. Has a glance into the middle. Can she find a teammate? Well, King is back again. Reads the play so well. Helps out. Tracking back from midfield. Thomas interested again, and Lewick had to be careful there. Gets it out for the throw.
It was a great, nifty little touch by Thomas to get past Checker there. She's just got a foot out, flicked it over. Had some work to do down on the side, though. Didn't really have too many options back in the box. But Perth with another chance here.
Thomas again. Simon able to find Van Egmond. Then had a look up. It was only Emsley inside.
Just too many touches there from that Van Egmond. This is one you need to play, get rid of it, bounce it in, bounce it out, change direction.
Mistake, and Jukic able to let fly. She didn't have a teammate in support who thought she was the better option. Morgan Andrews not utilised, and Lydia Williams makes the save.
And Thomas again causing the trouble. She's in there, she's working hard, she's managed to pinch that ball, and it's fallen to Jukic. She struck it well, but not struck it well enough to trouble Lydia Williams.
Just had a look down at Rado Vidicic a moment ago, and looks like a coach has been surprised at the challenge being put up by Perth so far. They've come to play and really have worked their way into this contest.
Yeah, they have. They've taken their time, but they're now starting to settle. And as long as they can keep City in front of them and not let them in behind, then they've really much done their job. It's just on that outlet when they have to find some players and find some bodies. It's actually good to see Thomas kind of drift more in the midfield, sorry, in the forward front line, but in the centre of it. And they could try and play for that outlet.
Two clubs who faced off in the 2017 Grand Final, won by City as part of their three-peat. Risky ball from Carpenter, straight to an opponent. Jukic links with a teammate this time. Thomas keeps it going for Andrews. Morgan Andrews lets fly, and only just wide. Really good signs for the Glory here.
Yeah, and that's it. It's that ball out. They've done well there, Perth. Again, Thomas involved Jukic with the nice little ball across, and she's just waited. She's waited it well there. Set it up, and she's able to get that strike. Ball out in front of her body. And she's hit it really well, and that hasn't missed by much at all.
And she'd love to get one over her club teammate back in the United States. Williams v. Andrews. Watch this space. Catley, another one from Rain FC. Lovely little move. You heard the fans appreciating that work from Mijatovic, who delivers deep. Simon trying to steal in behind. Kim Carroll ready and waiting.
There's a good option there by Mijatovic. She could have played Catley out, but she chose to come back in. It's probably not the best option then to go back into the box when you're only got one target in Simon. And she wasn't really in a position that she was going to attack that ball that was coming in.
30 years of age now, Katarina Jukic, 24th W-League game for her. The star of the local competition during the year in WA. May, the game's record holder, being part of the club since season 1. Down on the sideline with a great view of things is Tara Rushton.
It's a sunny one. I need some sunglasses down here, Speedy. I don't know if you've got any Ray-Bans up there. But look, Rado Vidicic, I should say, not his son Dario, pretty frustrated down here. A lot of one-on-one coaching going on between him and Kaya. Kaya being marked very tightly by Natasha Rigby as well. And he said to her, she is reading you like a book. We know that there's some beautiful interplay that can happen between Kaya and Ellie Carpenter. And he just thinks that it's all becoming a little bit too predictable.
Hopefully that gets us both a pair of Ray-Bans, Tara. Just a little product placement there on your behalf. Looks like Kate Gill could do with some sunnies right now.
Yeah.
We look right into
a
it.
bit of glare that's coming across.
Carpenter pulls it back. Emsley cuts out the clearance from Carroll, who has another go and finds a teammate, this time in Thomas. Bends it around to Checker. Again, there's that. She had a ball forward there. She had options to go to either Van Egmond or Carpenter, but it seems a default mechanism in this Melbourne City lineup to turn around and go backwards.
Yeah, it sure does. It's a great point, Speedy. They do it a lot through the midfield as well. I don't know if it's body position when they're actually receiving the ball and they look that they can go forward and just to get in between the defender and on a bit of an angle, but there was always that idea just to have a touch back and then see if we can open up and play somewhere else where they really need to get going forward.
Both of their home games so far have been won by a 1-0 scoreline. Stop closed down by the impressive 17-year-old Letitia McKenna. Lovely feet there from Andrews trying to release McKenna, and Lydia Williams protected herself cleverly there, and she actually did run into the leg of McKenna.
She did. It was brilliant work by Andrews. She's just opened it up, tried to slip that ball in. Great feet to actually get the ball out and play it through.
Risky ball again from Carpenter, and it is taken away by Rigby. So Rado Vidicic will be getting his message across to Ellie Carpenter within earshot. Andrews slotting into that right back position as Sardo went into that 50-50 with Catley. It's hanging in the air and almost going backwards at the end of its journey. Catley gets the decision.
I don't know if there's too much in that. I think it was more Andrews that was jumping and Steph just held it ground. Just got to look at it again here. Steph hasn't done too much. He's just backed into her and Andrews has just come up there.
Catley thought she was entitled to it, but I'm with you, Kate. She's pretty fortunate to get the whistle. What more can Andrews do than jump for the ball? Catley delivers, flick off the head of Carroll, and it will go out for a throw-in the end.
And for the possession, Speedy, with City, I'd have to say Perth have had the better chances so far.
To keep an eye on the runs of Emsley, whether she is getting into those goal-scoring positions or not. Here's Jukic. Can't get it around Checker.
Yeah, just too close to him there. You can see what she was trying to do. She's the Jukic, if she takes that touch just into the midfield a little bit more, she'll actually open up the angle where she can get the better ball.
The Sardo clan up and about as Julia comes across to take the throw-in right in front of them. It's a big moment for Julia Sardo to be playing on this W League stage in front of family and friends. She had 3 years out of the game from her late teens. There's her sister Tanya, who I spoke to a moment ago. Mum and Dad are enjoying it. A chance to catch up with their daughter for the first time in a month or so.
Yeah, it's never nice injuries keeping you out of the game for that long, but fantastic to see you back on the pitch. Even if it's not in the two Melbourne Blues, it's not bad being in a glory purple.
She's just signed for Bulleen to play in the local competition next year as well, once her W League commitments are over. Here's Catley trying to take on Andrews, who slid across and concedes the corner.
It's a good tackle there from Andrews. She really didn't want Steph Catley to get into the byline and whipping across in there. Conceded for a corner instead. Just see here, Steph taking the ball down the line, which she loves to do, but Andrews, well-timed tackle, gets a foot in.
Van Egmond, saw Kinga making a run, but didn't get the right power on the pass it was on.
There was a rehearsed set piece that just didn't come off that time.
Now Van Egmond headed for that corner. Will she be able to keep it in? Not quite.
Just a bit too much on it there for Emily to keep that ball in.
So tall and languid and such a technician of the game, but when she gives the ball away, you get frustrated. But that's just the style she plays.
Yeah, that's exactly right. She really is. She really is a presence there in the midfield, and she likes to use her body and get stuck in as well. For me, I just wish Em would at times just play forward. She's always a bit timid and wants to take that touch back, and she's got so much class about her. She's got such a football brain on her as well, and she's definitely capable just having that confidence to take that touch forward.
Lewick, what a passer. That ball was bouncing about shin high, had the confidence to take on the pass first time with her left, found her teammate. How many would have taken on that pass in Australian football, I wonder?
Yeah, the Ivy is great like that, just the technique that she has, and actually the composure on the ball. She's such a reliable player, just comfortable and confident, and can keep the ball, and that's what you want in your number 6.
Rigby looking for a penetrating ball, finds the feet of Thomas as well. Celia did have one option ahead, Jukic, who cycled via Rigby. Now May. Nice idea from Jukic, but Carpenter was back there. Handy touch off Kinga, allows Lewick to launch again. Catley. Mijatovic. Back to Lewick. Van Egmond, great movement off the ball. Wrapped around. Back to Ivy Lewick once more. And how's the build-up? Mijatovic onside. Back to Catley. And Egmond featuring again, but it's allowed Perth to get back into a pretty handy block here. Not a lot of room between the lines.
And that's not bad by Glory. If they keep the City in front, then they're fine. They just make sure that they've got runners, they know where they are, and keep those spaces nice and tight, and just push up when they can, and they'll pinch it back.
There it is, right on cue. Bouncing ball. They ask for handball off Emsley. Don't get it. Lydia Williams talking stop through it. Really does have a great voice and a great presence out there on the pitch, Lydia Williams. She was barking in the car park when we turned up today, giving Tara an earful in a jovial way. Jukic strong on the ball, got rid of Lewick. Morgan Andrews right into Catley, who felt the full effects of that one. Clutching at a finger or a wrist, perhaps. Never went down, though. Sucking it up in back play as Simon gets it. And again, perfect positioning in the passing lane.
Yeah, Rigby reads that so well. She just gets her body in the way. You see this Andrews and Catley full tilt, just straight into her, and it's that ball that's coming from Jukic. She's done so well to hang on to it and to move it, and just that last pass has just let her down.
Kinga, again, had 3 teammates in the box, tried to slide one backwards across the face and turned it over. Andrews, what a ball. Giving her fellow American every chance here. Thomas. Neat mover. Jukic to Celia, having a go for that top corner and looping onto the back of the netting in the end.
Well done, Glory, there. That ball out wide, where Thomas has chased it down and then drifted back across. She's combined there with Jukic, and you can see Celia what she wanted. But for me, if she'd actually approached Jukic and wanted it just in front of her there, she would have been closer to goal, and she would have been hitting the ball on the move instead of just letting it play where it was. And then she's just tried to lob it into the back stick.
GPS issue for Celia, sorted out by her captain. Quite annoying to play with, or you don't even feel them?
It looks like it was annoying Celia there, so they had to tidy it up. No, I think they make them these days where you don't feel them all that much.
May, back to the Spaniard. And Egmont just going to have it straight back to May. All pretty tight in the middle of the pitch there. Taken away by Lewick. The misplaced passes back to back from Ivy. You don't see that too often.
I suppose she's allowed one. We'll give her that.
Saw Carol a moment ago just shielding her eyes to look up the pitch. Now she's in the shaded area.
I think Glory will just be happy to kind of slow it down here and just try and take some time. Obviously, don't want to give anything away just before ending the first half and going into the shed. So I think they'll just be happy just to slow it down.
Crystal Thomas proving a real handful, a 25-year-old American.
She sure is. She's got some pace and some fight about her, that's for sure. Getting stuck in.
Andrews has come across to take this one. Hits a sweet ball. Try and thrust it forward to the likes of Carroll, who've gone forward here.
Honor whistle.
Free kick given up by Carpenter. Andrews to deliver. Closing in on half-time. Goalless on Thursday night football so far. Handy little nudge there from Van Egmond. Put her opponent under the ball. Simon searching for Emsley. Time to run, but it's such a tough pass to execute going that way at this stadium.
It is. It does travel with a little bit of wind there. It'll go quickly as well. You can see what City were trying to do. Release Emsley to get in that space in behind, but the ball just overhit and travelled right through to Campbell.
Who could afford the initial miscontrol on Isa Campbell. Oh, great lead from Thomas. Schenker thought she was under no pressure at all, and suddenly Thomas leapt up like Cristiano Ronaldo did earlier today.
Yeah, I did see that one. Unbelievable.
Now stop. Another trademark surge to Catley. Haven't been able to get the likes of Kaya Simon and Mijatovic involved enough for Vidicic's liking, perhaps.
No, I agree with you there, Speedy. And they've just been sitting out that little bit too wide, and so the predictability of the game between Carpenter and Kaya there, it's just maybe she needs to come in, make the field a little bit tighter on that side to give Ellie some space out wide. It just all seems a bit too congested, and Rigby is doing a fantastic job just getting nice and tight and close.
Emsley played down the line by Carpenter. Lewitt. Not a lot of room out there. And she'll get a corner out of it, though.
Yeah, just those bodies where Perth can get across, and Ivy's done well to be able to win a corner there.
Melbourne City have scored in all 7 previous meetings against Perth. Last time they met, it was Perth 5, Melbourne City 2. Not going to see a scoreline like that this evening.
No, it could be a last-ditch 1-0 win from either team at the rate this is going.
Simon makes the near post run. Right into the mixer went Catley's delivery. And now the shot fired in from Stock could have gone anywhere. Kaya Simon was lurking at the back post, looking for a ricochet. Campbell able to dive on it.
Just too many bodies in the way there for Stott to get a clear connection on that. The initial header out from Carroll didn't make it too far, and City were able to get it back in amongst bodies, and just too many in there to find a direct path to goal.
Another free kick against Morgan Andrews, who just turns away and keeps her thoughts to herself.
Yeah, I think she'll be challenging for too many headers if that's the way it's going to go. Probably been twice on the harsh end.
Simon. Rigby backs off this time. Simon was able to turn and face forward, and look how dynamic it is off the back of it. Utilises Kinga. Emsley available just inside. And Kinga, not the ball she was after.
No, that's a wayward one there from Yukari King. You usually don't see that from her delivery, and she just hasn't hit it well at all, and it's not troubling the Perth Glory defence or Eliza Campbell. But better movement from City there to open up some space. You see Kaya go high and wide, and then be able to link up with Emsley, who can then drop it back into her. And once she's come inside, then Kinga then fills that space.
Emsley able to drive at Carroll. Van Egmond timing a run into the box. Simon looks up. The number 10 at the back post. Well defended by you-know-who. When Julia Sardo gets involved, her fan club is making themselves known.
And Thomas again, those cute little touches. She's just bobbled that one over someone's head, brought it back down, found herself some space, and it's got a team throw in.
Rigby can open up the pitch here. Here's Romero. Taking on 2 or 3 was Andrews. Stott with the immediate release. Carroll just dropped off. Showed all of her intelligence. And Campbell got her body behind that one.
Yeah, Campbell did well there. There was a bit of a prickly ball that Carroll had played back to her there, but she used it well. Just chested down, composure, and then played it out into space.
Van Egmond asking a little too much of Simon. Had the easy ball, but tried to play it inside the defender. A really aggressive option, but probably not the better one.
No, and again, Tash Rigby there to mop it all up.
It is her role with Matildas and Melbourne City to pick the right pass from that attacking midfield role. Emily Van Egmond hasn't quite been on so far in this game.
Yeah, you're right. She just hasn't really found it. I don't know if it's the weight of the pass, the execution, the choice of pass at times, also the runs that are made and the options that are available for her.
Sardo again, stepping up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Pleasing her clan once more. 1 minute of stoppage time being added. A game that has flown by, very few stoppages. Celia tripped? No, she just fell over the ball, said the referee. City looking to strike in first half stoppage time. Carpenter. And Simon couldn't get in behind.
And again, City just delivery into the box. Even though it's not a great ball in, the numbers aren't really there either. Just the options not really working for them at all today.
Last week, they played their better football into the breeze, and that'll be the focus again tonight. Is there one last chance for the Glory? Jukic will know time is ticking away here. Back to Celia, taking on the long-range strike a couple of times, and not a bad effort. She was hoping for a corner there. Referee said there's no time to take it. And a couple of these Perth Glory imports feel like they're getting wound up by the referee.
Yeah, she's hit it again, Celia. What a strike. She can really hit them when she gets her body weight behind it. Obviously wanting to have the corner there, but just not enough time to see it through.
So at half-time at the ABD Stadium, it's Melbourne City 0, Perth Glory 0. A good contest so far. Melbourne City with plenty to talk about at half-time, and we can hear from their side of the story with Tara now.
Yeah, thanks, Speedy. I'm joined by Ali Carpenter. Ali, it was a bit of an uncharacteristic opening from your side. I know that you're exhausted and you need the break, but how did it feel out there for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's probably, not what, we can play like. It was very frustrating and, nowhere near where we can play, so we need to, sort it out and change and come back out, but definitely not good enough for us, and we need to lift the bar.
What do you need to do?
Just string those passes and be compact and play as a team. We're a bit sloppy. Everyone's, a bit off their game, but, half-time to regroup and hopefully come out stronger.
Good luck getting there.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ellie. I'm now joined by Morgan Andrews. Morgan, you've held the tabletop as the ladder leaders at bay. You must be really happy with where you're at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy with my team and the way my teammates are handling the game. We're not here to hold off the team. We're here to compete, so we're doing the best we can and to hold accountability for our responsibilities.
So what's it going to take to break them open?
Yeah, we're going to have to possess the ball a bit more and then transition fast. Right now, we're not fast enough on the transition.
Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much to Morgan Andrews and Ali Carpenter there. We're off to a short break. On the other side, I'll be joined by former Matilda Kate Gill to run an eye over all of the first half action between Melbourne City and Perth Glory.
No worries, thank you. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure. Yep. Okay. Yep.
Cool. Let me know how much time I've got there.
No, just a bit further. We're trying to get away from the sun.
Is it fair to say City started the better?
Yes. Yep. Definitely.
Glory found their way into the game?
Oh, they just took some time to settle. But once they've done, they've done a good job. I mean, they just absorbed all the pressure. And then
Perth Glory's chances, who am I pointing you to there?
for
It's the long ball to the American up
Thomas.
front.
Thomas is on. It's pacey.
Thomas up front.
Yep.
Crystal, right?
Yep.
Ellie's lively, but she's got. You can hear Rada down here.
Yeah, that's probably not going to help.
Also, Lauren Barnes is warming up.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Just probably something to mention. Celia Spanish?
Yes. Delgado.
It's getting cold, isn't
It is now, yeah.
Where's Spenny? Did that break? I was walking from here. I was trying to see if I was going to write my question. There is a massive hole.
There you go.
I was in that hole. I really Yana the motivator is crying. She's like, she can't even shush. That's funny. I'm like, hey, I could have ended up flat like right in the dog.
Great.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing. Welcome back to your Thursday night of W League action, live from ABD Stadium. Yeah, the table toppers, Melbourne City. Well, Perth Glory, they sit second last on the W League table, and they're going toe-to-toe with the ladder leaders who are undefeated so far this season. What a contest we have on our hands, Kate Gill, because everyone probably thought it's such a one-sided affair, David and Goliath in the making. And Perth Glory have done incredibly well to head into that shed at half-time, and it's 0-0.
Yeah, they have, and I'm guilty. I was one of those people. I was thinking that City were going to come and keep the ball and Perth were going to have a hell of a time, but they did really well. They just kind of absorbed the pressure. City are good, but if you keep City in front of you, they're not going to trouble you, and that's what's happening.
Melbourne City, they probably opened the better in the first half. You can always tell that something's going to happen when they're creative play. They just have to be patient. They did create a couple of chances. Interesting, though, to see that Perth Glory probably dominated in the latter half. But talk us through City's chances.
Yeah, they have. I mean, out wide, you know, the likes of Mijatovic, she's been really good. She's patient. She keeps the ball at her feet. You've got Van Egmond through the middle, and then Steph Catley's been delivering great balls into the box, and Carpenter as well. But it's just those runners and those options as well. Like, there's times when they can just be patient, put their foot in it, move it, bring it back in. They don't have to whip it in all the time if they don't have anybody in there contesting for it. And for me as well, through the midfield, they've got the people on the ball that can keep the ball, but it's always going backwards. Have a look forward. Maybe just change your body position again and move into that space.
Rado Vidicic was down here and he said, none of you are facing forward. He's yelling at his players going, you need to face forward to make those forward runs. I dare say he's pulling his hair out and going grayer in the dressing rooms right now. It surprised you, it surprised I watching on from the sideline. Perth Glory, well, they've really gone toe-to-toe with the table toppers at the moment, and this clout and the quality that this Melbourne City side have on the pitch.
Yeah, and to be honest, I thought that they would struggle a bit because there's no direct outlet. I mean, last year they just had pace up front, so if any came, they could play direct, they could get balls over the top. But Thomas, for me, has been fantastic. She bustles, she gets in there. Andrews as well has been striking things from distance. Celia and Rigby have been fantastic. They haven't been giving Ali Carpenter or Kaya Simon an inch. They've been there, they've been aggressive, and I had to say, Glory have had the better chances. There's been some fantastic options where they've just had strikes on goal, but they just need to keep moving, be patient, and just absorb that pressure, and something might come.
It's really interesting because we know Steph Catley on one flank, Ali Carpenter on the other. Midfield, what's going to happen in there? Especially talking from an Emily Van Egmond perspective and a Kaya Simon perspective, a little bit quieter.
Yeah, it's just that movement, and as we said, just looking up, like, do I need to take that touch backwards? Can I just kind of step, open up my body a bit, let the ball do the work and be in front of me? Then there's options going forward.
And it's interesting, Lauren Barnes was warming up quite rigorously, even though she does have an injury. She's got a quad injury at the moment that she's been playing with for a couple of weeks. I wonder whether that means that Rado's going to switch things up. They seem uncharacteristically flat out here tonight.
Yeah, they sure do, and they've got the ball, but they're just not doing anything with it. And it is a City story. We have seen that happen, as you can see Lauren just warming up at the moment. And I wouldn't be surprised if she does come on to make that change, because she is super comfortable on the ball. And what she does really well, which is what Stott does well, but she hasn't done it enough tonight, is break that line and actually come through midfield, bring that ball with them, and then that gives you options. You've got going forward, you've got players opening up, and hopefully they can turn it around in the second half.
She is a real leader from the back as well, isn't she? Because Kaya Simon has been a little bit quiet, but Natasha Rigby is doing a stunning job on her, and I guess she's been really quiet in what is her milestone 100th game.
Yeah, she is, and there might be a bit of pressure there. There might be a bit of nerves and probably not the communication, or she hasn't had the opportunities as well. When she's got wide and she's given herself some width, she's looked better, and then she's been able to combine with Emsley, but there hasn't really been that much. They haven't really been on par. There was one little combination play they had here. They clipped it in, she clipped it back, and then there was space for Kinga, but then the delivery wasn't great.
Okay, Perth perspective, who needs to stand up? Because I know that you've liked Celia Delgado, the Spanish international. She's been so strong on the ball out here.
Yeah, she really has, and she's taken some opportunities as well. She's not afraid to hit the ball. She gets in, she's around, she puts her body in the way. She's good on the ball, and she's creating things for them. I think their imports have actually been really good, and I was a bit uber critical at the start that they hadn't replaced like for like, so I like to eat my words when they're actually doing good, so that's fine. Well done, Glory. But yeah, Celia for me, she's just strong, she's robust, and she's got something for this team, and I just hope that she can probably pinch something for them.
Yeah, Andrews, Morgan, the two Americans, can they whip the ball? And they have been pacey up front. Can we smell an upset?
Oh,
Will you be eating your words at the end of the game, Gilly?
Oh, I hope so. I've been doing it tonight, so why not?
We will see how it does play out in the second half. Can Perth Glory, who sits second last on the W League table, cause a huge upset here tonight at ABD Stadium against Melbourne City?
I just want to know so I can tell them.
Okay, let's go. Come on. You got it. If you got to have some. Yeah.
I do, thank you. Okay, just let me chuck the board up. Me, and then who else is on the other? Who's on the 18? Kinga. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
The sun setting in Melbourne as we get ready for the second half here at ABD Stadium in Melbourne City after an indifferent first half performance. Looked like they're reverting to type and going to a back three. The change, Lauren Barnes, left-sided defender on, Millie Mijatovic, attacking midfielder off. So they'll try and produce the kind of football they have been doing in previous weeks, Kate Gill.
Yeah, I want to see if this change is fruitful. For me, they just really haven't got out of second gear. It's been a bit pedestrian for them in the first half, so hopefully injecting Barnes can change things up a bit.
City straight from the kickoff can use Catley. Well, they can't. Pass cut out by Julia Sardo. Not playing in front of her cheer squad anymore in close proximity. That was another half chance to just flick it on for Andrews. Would have been in behind Catley and Barnes.
Yeah, I thought maybe Sardo's parents might have moved over this side to give us some encouragement.
Here is Andrews. Good movement again by her countrywoman. And Barnes gets involved defensively. So I wonder how Perth are reacting to that change from City at half-time. We can hear from their coach now, Bobby Despotovsky, with Tara.
Yeah, thanks so much, Speedy. Bobby, you've gone toe-to-toe with Melbourne City's Matildas. Are you happy with that first half?
Absolutely. Look, I'm very proud of the girls, how they conducted themselves in the first half and limit Melbourne City to maybe 1 or 2 shots on goals.
What's going to be key come this second half?
Look, if we can do exactly the same like in the first half and maybe create a couple of more chances, but it's going to be very hard. It's you know, Melbourne City is full of Matildas and full of internationals, so it's going to be a very hard task.
Good luck, Bobby.
Thank you very much.
The coach himself, a former international, played with the Socceroos, a handful of games, also won a Johnny Warren medal in the first season of the Hyundai A-League. Here's Catley, already the width the wing-backs are providing, having an effect. Emsley whips one across the face, all the way through to Carpenter. The deflection off Celia was handy, otherwise Carpenter may have been driving into the area. Here's Stott. Look how advanced City are immediately here. Stott around one, and the back heel flick had Kaya Simon written all over it. Campbell was well positioned though to stop the spellbinding effort.
And you can see immediately the effect that it's had, just for Stott to be able to pick that ball much further and higher up the park. Well done there by Kaya Simon, just a bit of trickery and able to get a flick in there, but that width is going to give them so much more joy.
On another night, it may have gone into the bottom corner, but not to be for Kaya Simon. Playing her 100th W League game here tonight. Already Emsley has been able to produce in wide areas as well. So that alteration from Rado Vidicic at half-time already bearing some fruit.
Yeah, I think that's a definite foul there. Not going the other way of Emsley, that's for sure.
This formation allows Stott to take on the game if she wants to at times, as she did a moment ago, getting inside the area. Kinga and Lewick playing alongside one another as defensive midfielders. Kinga can't find Carpenter though. Losing it on the breeze perhaps. Andrews pulls off the ball over the top. Beautifully timed run from Jukic. Thomas as support. The pass was a little errant, put the pressure on Thomas. There's also an opportunity maybe for a back heel to get her involved a bit earlier.
Well, it was a good piece of play by Perth. It's just that ball that comes into midfield. Andrews is forward. She looks up. She can see Jukic making the run. She's played a delightful ball, which has just dropped in behind the defender. And Jukic did well to retain it. Just that last pass again has just let her down and didn't really give Thomas much of a chance to get anything on it.
Ideal football conditions here in Melbourne. Not so the case tomorrow, so the Melbourne Victory game has been postponed until the Saturday morning. Was scheduled for 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Temperatures would have been in the 40s, so switched it up to 10:30 Saturday morning. Van Egmond around the corner. Perfect weight for Catley to deliver first time. Campbell fumbles. And then Lewick couldn't steer it home. Upended by Campbell after she got the shot away as well.
And the ball pinging around in there, but this is what that width gives. That's a great ball by Emily, just waited. She slipped it between the two defenders. Good ball in by Stefan. Campbell just hasn't held on to it. He's bobbled out in front of her, and Ivy's got a foot to it, but just not enough to put it in any direction onto the goal.
Is that a penalty?
I don't think that's a penalty.
Why not?
I don't think that's a penalty. I don't think she's really retained the ball there. I don't think she's doing too much to put her off.
Has she fouled a player with the ball still in play then?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a bit harsh.
Thomas gets a corner off stock. End-to-end stuff here at the start of the second half.
Yeah, it's good to see both teams have come out. It's not as cagey as it was in the first half. They're both chasing a win.
They've got some speed up front as well. Maybe it favours them to play down breeze. Melbourne City, it maybe favours them to go into it and play their passing football. Thomas to swing it in towards that penalty spot. Van Egmond first to it. Helped on by Jukic. Indecision between a couple of City players, and Thomas, deflection on that shot. Lydia Williams kept her footing until she had to commit.
Yeah, and pressure again there by Glory. It was a good snatch shot there by Thomas as well on frame, and Carpenter's just got a leg to it to put a deflection on it, and Lydia's able to calm things down. But again, Glory, just that pressure.
Catley around the corner. Simon rolls reverse for the time being between her and Emsley. See a lot of rotation between the City players. Now Emsley the target of this pass. First time around the corner for Carpenter, looking for Simon in the middle, and Campbell pretty confident it was coming her way.
A good movement there by City, just to circulate the ball, get it out wide. Good ball in the box here by Ellie. It's just one of those ones when the striker's got to make that front post run. It's sometimes unselfish just to create that space, even if you don't think you're going to get it.
Saw your eyes lighting up. You would have got near post and nodded that one home. Kate Gill.
Probably not now, maybe.
In your Perth glory days when you were donning the purple. No look pass there from Carpenter, turned it over again. Andrews, really tidy player, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is. She's great close control with the ball at her feet. Dinks that one over and be able to bring it back down.
Oh, that's a clever turn as well. Their Americans really have come to play tonight. The Perth Glory. And they get some pay dirt at the end of all their pretty football. Across in time was Romero, the Mexican international, on loan from the Houston Dash this season.
I believe it's a second stint in Glory colours.
Born in Arizona, but represents Mexico. Van Egmond has the ability to switch it from one side to the other like that. Opens up the pitch now for Emsley. Forced wide by Carroll. Carpenter, tough ball to control.
Yeah, just the weight on the pass there by Emsley. Carpenter wanted the ball, she just didn't want it whacked into her. It has to be one where she can actually take a first touch that's favourable for her to hang on to it.
Perth are making those passing lanes so tight, though, that she probably felt she had to force the pass with a bit more pace, perhaps.
Yeah, they've done a really good job just to narrow and squeeze things in and encourage City to try and play through the tight spaces.
Lewick gives it away this time. Carroll didn't want to muck around with the ball on the edge of her own box. First against 8th heading into this round, these two teams, but still locked up at 0-0. Sardo found Andrews. Left side of the pitch is open, looking for a killer ball instead. We mentioned how hard that kind of ball is to produce, particularly for Thomas.
Yeah, Andrews again, though, just uses her body really well. Even though she had her back to it, then she could sense where the defender was. It was putting some pressure on her. She's just able to roll and then go forward.
Foul against Emsley again.
Yeah, just came in from behind there. Got her arms and body in the way and just given Shannon May a bit of a nudge.
Bit of a nothing ball from Carroll. Took that free kick quickly as she saw McKenna trying to time her run. Well done again by Julia Sardo. You can see why Despotovsky rushed her straight back in after missing last week through injury. She's been right where she needed to be pretty much each and every time so far tonight.
Yeah, body positioning's been brilliant. She's just been in the right place and then just done well. She played simply, just got in front, been able to play a ball back, and then Glory can start again.
So much communication out there. One getting away from Van Egmond, who appreciated the intent of the pass from Barnes. Now Checker steps up. Simon holds it up. Carpenter wants it. Now making the run in behind. Tough ball to pull off. And Rigby able to retreat to Campbell. Simon's so clever, though. Dropped into that position and won back possession for her team. Goes back to Van Egmond. They've dragged Carroll a long way from goal here. Simon looks at the run of Emsley, and it's flighting all the way over Eliza Campbell, who had her heart in her mouth for a moment. Happy to hear it land on the top of the net.
Yeah, she would have been really happy to see that one land where it did. You can see Simon, not sure if that was the old first shot. She probably put a bit too much on it than what she was thinking. Definitely trying to get that one into Emsley. And as you said, Speedy Campbell will be lucky to see that one hit the top of the net.
Scored a fabulous goal from long range in Geelong a few years back now for the Matildas. Capable of catching out goalkeepers. Sounds like Perth are doing most of the talking out there.
Yeah, they will. As you said, they're just keeping really compact and really tight. They want to keep them just sitting in front of them.
Rigby again in the road. Stott asking for the throw, and she gets it. A little belated, that decision from the assistant. A few Perth players were still hopeful the throw might have been going their way, so they were on the back foot a little. Sardo again finding the feet of Thomas. Again, that instant control from Andrews.
Yeah, she's done well there, Andrews. That ball had to be an outlet, and she did well just to hang on to it.
Last touch off Checker. She didn't appreciate that call. Thought it was off Jukic.
Jukic's just smart. She's just towed it into her. She knew what she was doing.
Perth able to get in position for a long throw Her last throw was a little suspect. Could easily have been a foul throw. This time she gets only as far as Catlett. Can wind up again. Played for the United States at under 23 level. Morgan Andrews still dreaming of the senior caller. Clever ball that for Jukic, trying to run rings around Barnes. Picks out her teammate as well. Letitia McKenna closed down as she tried to produce the strike to Tess Williams.
It was great work there by Jukic. She's just done enough. She was just trying to get some space where she could actually flick a ball back in, and she did well to pick out McKenna there to actually drop the ball in.
McKenna, who scored on her debut as a 16-year-old last season in a 4-all draw against Canberra United on the end of this work from Jukic.
Yeah, again, just the footwork from Jukic. McKenna touch across, and then Steph Catley, ever reliable, gets across and gets a body in the way.
Lewick upended. Challenge was fine. She got in to win it back. Emsley. Stott just thrusting it forward to no one in particular. Perth well organised again. Kinga breaks things up, and maybe City can launch off the back of that. Carpenter furthest forward. Roles reversed here with Emsley in the wide area this time. Teammates top of the box. Emsley looking for goal. Sardo taking control again. That was a free kick that didn't need to be conceded, but Rigby understandably lost her bearings a little.
Yeah, just looked up there. She was looking for the ball, and then she had Kaya Simon right underneath her and fell there for sure. Got her hands all over her there. You can see what's happening. She's acknowledged it. Dangerous position, though, to give away a free kick.
Played in 2 grand finals with the Glory. Natasha Rigby, now 26 years of age, closing in on 50 games for the club. It's all about Steph Catley and her left boot this time. Catley off the underside of the crossbar and headed home for the under. Kaya Simon with the initial header. Her teammate might have finished off the job. They're all getting around Rebecca Stott, who has a rare W League goal. Steph Catley's brilliant free kick set it all up, and they score from very close range in the end.
Yeah, we're just talking about the dangerous position that they've given that free kick away, but Steph Catley, she struck this so sweetly inside of the foot. It's come off the underside of the bar. Kaya Simon on the follow-up. I don't know who's put that in after watching the bundles and the calamities on the line there, but Steph Catley inside of the foot, as we said, some strike, and then Kaya with the follow-up. I think I'd credit that to the Kaya Simon goal. I don't think it's touched anybody else before it's gone into the back of the net.
I think Stott gets a touch here, there, because Kaya Simon knows it, and that's why she's not celebrating a goal in her 100th, Kate. Come on, got to give the defenders a goal when they get them.
Oh, yeah, I would have been celebrating it. Running around, that would have been mine.
And if we had VAR, we might have been checking to see whether Stott was onside when that header was thrust forward by Kaya Simon, but the goal stands, of course. And Rebecca Stott has her 5th W League goal in appearance number 80. Unless, of course, Kate Gill overrides everything and Kaya Simon gets her goal. It's a handball against Kaya on this occasion. I wonder if it needed the touch from Rebecca Stott, whether Campbell would have gotten across if not for the touch.
Yeah, it looked like it was definitely going in. There were bodies around there. Probably would have let that one go through. But nevertheless, I think Scott's got a whisker on it, I would say, to put that in the back of the net.
Perth looking to hit back. Good angle, you fancy, for Morgan Andrews to whip this in, looking for any kind of touch. She's going for goal, in fact, and Williams saw that coming. Not sure about the release. Hands on head as she tried the drop kick release for Van Egmond.
I hope Glory just keep going the way that they have and don't retreat and try and sit deep. They just need to keep playing. They've done ever so well. to frustrate City.
Very familiar scoreline for Melbourne City this season. 1-0 up at home. Chasing a 5th win on the bounce. They drew first up away to Newcastle. Wins ever since. Barnes calls Lewick out of it. Bouncing ball. Van Egmond waits. Sardo says, I'll have that. Pulled up a little lame though, Julia Sardo. Let's hope she's okay. Clutching at a lower back. After getting around Van Egmond there.
Just that ball. Oh, I don't know. Maybe she's just copped a little one in the back there. You can see just get a little bit stiff after the back of that.
Good scrap. 2-on-1 and the 2-1 out. Here's the goal scorer. Might get Tara to check with the 4th official who's been credited with the goal officially. Barnes. Lovely pass. Kinga made it work as well. Catley inside. Always takes a risk with her body as well, doesn't she? Flies into those 50-50s.
Yeah, she's not afraid of putting the body on the line and getting stuck in. And this is better by City. The movement's far more fluid than what it was.
Great ball in by Carpenter, and it's out for a corner. Romero flung herself into it.
And that's a ball you want as a striker. That one that's whipped in. You can see where it comes in from Carpenter. She gets around it. And Emsley's made the right run there, but Romero's just got a beaten it to it and got a touch.
Lefty in-swinger upcoming from Catley. Hit the bar with that free kick a moment ago. Stott on the end of things again. Back in by Emsley. Perth have plenty of numbers defending in their box on this occasion. Able to work it as far as Lewick and now Checker. And Egmont can use Catley, who's staying on side.
And again, Rigby is the one that reads the pass and gets a foot in.
Catley turns away from Rigby. Lovely pass. Van Egmont might find Carpenter. Side netting. What a fabulous chance to score for her new club.
And again, the movement by City, this is what opens it up. It's that nice little interchange pass on the wing there between Catley and Van Egmont. That's a good ball by Emily, straight across the box. For me, Ellie has to hit that other post, and if she keeps running through it and actually moves through the ball, she'll keep it down and it'll end up in that corner. Wrong corner for me.
So it's the end of the section for Julia Sardo, who was clutching at that back a moment ago. So gets a nice reception from former teammates and her family in that section. And it's a like-for-like change. Sarah Carroll, who started in that slot last week, in it right back. Turning it over. Simon pass a little behind Lewick. Played it cleverly. Catley back in position. That's why Carpenter was on this side to take that shot, because Catley had gone across for the corner. Really worked out beautifully for the nominal right back. Great ball, Kinga. Simon. Emsley. Catley. Oh, nearly looped in as well. They're asking for a corner. I think it was a double ricochet, maybe off Catley last. That's how the referee adjudicated it.
To see where this one comes in. The ball in from Emsley, and Catley's there, and I don't know, hard to tell from that angle if it's actually come back off Steph. Maybe some fair force that she's hit it with to make it go that far.
Quarter of the 90 to go as Kate Gill goes back through her physics classes of yesteryear and thinks that should have been a corner. Do you do physics?
I don't think I even attended a physics class.
Oh, here's an unfortunate moment. Head clash Referee stopping play immediately. Let's hope both of these players will be right to go on. Rigby and Lewick.
Yeah, it's good to see that the doctor and the physios will go out there to assess the players. Hopefully it's nothing too substantial. Do the check and make sure that they're all okay.
Here's what happened. Oh, yeah.
So both just jumping up for the ball there, and it's just Lewick's head into Rigby's.
Happens once or twice a game in just about every level of football, doesn't it?
Sure does, sure does. But as you can see, protocols being followed. The doctor's taking her through her assessment, making sure she's okay.
So a stoppage, chance for Perth to have an impromptu team talk here to rally for this last quarter of the game or so. 1-0 down after the goal from Rebecca Stott. It has been credited to the defender. Kaya Simon had the header on target. Was it going to get there without the work of Rebecca Stott, we wonder? Let's have a look at it. I think it needed a little nod on.
Might see it again, might see it better from this angle. Ooh. Oh, well, it's in the back of the net.
This goalkeeper and defender were both trying to clear and get in the road of the Simon header, but Stott just poked it home with that quick as a flash reaction. It's a little fitness test for Ivy Lewick. Just survived the concussion protocol and gets straight into the action with another header. Here's Catley. Carroll able to get her body in the road. Kinga just needs to work on her juggling skills. The ball girl setting her a task there that she couldn't quite conquer.
Just decide which ball she can use.
Catley again. Beautiful left boot that she possesses. Campbell had to give up the chase. Knew she was no hope against Simon. Finds an angle to Lewick. Back to Carpenter, and Simon takes up the role of a winger. Van Egmond trying to get there. Left behind by Campbell. She's had the case of the fumbles tonight, hasn't she, Eliza Campbell, and hasn't been punished for any of them.
Yeah, she has on the odd occasion, and again, that's a good run in from Emily, though, and the ball from Kaya is, she's got to make that run and get the bodies in the way, but Campbell again just fumbling that one and lucky not to be too behind.
Layoff now from Van Egmond. Carpenter was screaming for the ball, might still get there. Scrambled away in the end, but City just keep on coming right now. All the momentum. Carpenter with a lovely turn. Trying to play in Stott. Carroll saw it coming, but Perth just can't get out at the moment. Lewick. Here's Kinga, latest to join the party. What about that reverse ball? Great sliding challenge by Romero that gives up the corner.
Yeah, Romero's done well there. As you can see where the ball was coming in. That was almost an opportunity for Emily to hit that first time, but Romero down on the ground doesn't give her an option.
Van Egmond is there as the short option. Catley's hitting them so well, you may as well just whip it in. All those teammates to hit in the middle. Simon gets across at that near post, tried to improvise, and it's out for the goal kick.
Yeah, it's not one when it bubbles like that. You just need to get something on it. Couldn't get enough to flick it back into the bodies, and Victoria will be happy to see that one go out and get themselves a goal kick.
Picture postcard sunset time here at ABD Stadium. Take a photo and you might sell some near Kate Gill.
Yeah, very much so. It's looking beautiful out there tonight.
Perth were working their way up the pitch. Still might be able to, as Carroll can stretch her legs down this right-hand side. A couple of Carrolls in the back four now for Perth. Romero breaking things up again. Let's have a look at this moment. Simon whipping it in. Van Egmond unable to pull the trigger here. Took an extra touch.
Yeah, she did. Just probably one too many there, although it was kind of a bit behind her to be able to hit first time, but Campbell really should have just been able to clean that up.
Thomas had a handful of Kinga's shirt there. Good referee. Waited for any advantage to accrue. It never came. Carpenter telegraphing that pass. Allowed McKenna to step in, and she made a beautiful run there, McKenna. Not rewarded.
No, she was probably looking for the first-time ball there. That needed to be dropped in and then just played over the top. Don't think Celia even really saw her.
Kind of pass that Sam Kerr thrived on as a Perth Glory player, of course. As Van Egmond delivers. Emsley not giving up on it. As Catley is back up. Kinga makes a run. Gets across as well. Romero had to back off after sliding into that challenge. Now Emsley delivers. Great header. Shannon May dropping back on front of her, on top of her back four.
When your diminutive defensive midfielder can get in there and clear the ball off the line.
Stott has options. Goes to Barnes, who came on at half-time, and City have been a much better proposition going forward. Catley played as that left wing back after the alteration, and Rado Vidicic has got the return he was after.
Yeah, it's exactly that. They just look so much more comfortable when they go to that back three. The space and the width that they were hoping for in that first half, they've now got.
Van Egmond teasing it to the back post. Who wants it? Great header, Romero. Away by Sarah Carroll second time around. Snapshot, trying to pick out that top corner. Tough one to execute.
I don't know if that's one where that ball's in there. Does Campbell just need to be that bit more aggressive and actually come out and take that?
So Jukic getting off in a hurry to allow Caitlin Douglas to come on for the last 15 minutes or so. Scored the fastest ever W League goal after just 14 seconds. Caitlin Douglas, is that part of the reason she wears the number 14?
Maybe, yeah.
A little bit of a marketing ploy from Caitlin.
Well, there you go, yeah. She might not be as aware of it as what we are now.
I'm sure her coach would love her to strike within 14 minutes, will do. Checker had that shot a moment ago. An ambitious one. Two lefties combining, Barnes and Catley. Able to tidy up her own minor error there, Steph Catley. They'd love the insurance of a two-goal buffer, of course, Melbourne City. Perth able to snatch a point last week in the 90th minute.
Yeah, it's always a dangerous scoreline to be sitting at that 1-0.
Gotta go.
Just back with me, Steph.
Because you see the additions of Barnes, Speedy, does she just settle things down when she slips in there in the left back? Just makes things tidy. She's really comfortable on the ball. She talks, she gets the players moving, and they just look so much more comfortable.
Great ball inside from Stott. Found an angle for Emsley. And a great save, a flying save from Eliza Campbell to keep it out of that side netting. That was goal bound for the Scottish international. Now Catley. And Perth able to clear their lines. Miscontrol from Carpenter, and the substitute might be away. Douglas around Checker. Carpenter got back. What a great foot race that was.
Yeah, Douglas open up into space and get that in front of her, but Ellie Carpenter, she'd given her about a 50-metre head start and then was able to bring the ball back.
Well, Eliza Campbell keeping her team in it with that flying save, denying Emsley her first W League goal. Catley. To go back to Van Egmond, perhaps. She's got 2 to contend with now. Catley in the corner. Clever little dribble. And they'll settle for a goal kick in the end. Fabulous goalkeeping from Campbell, a confidence booster as well a moment ago.
Yeah, it was a big, strong hand that she got onto that. After looking a bit shaky, dropping 2 prior, but she definitely did well to get across and keep that one out.
Changes coming thick and fast right now for Bobby Despotovsky. Norrie on. Another 22-year-old off the bench. McKenna making way. Campbell had to get busy with Emsley lurking. Inside the final 10 minutes we go. This was so close to 2-0 for City. Brilliant save. So many good goalkeepers in the W League right now, aren't there?
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, Sarah Willis even won at Adelaide, who got a bit of a taste of the Matildas when they had their last fixtures against Chile. But Mackenzie Arnold will be there for a while up at Brisbane, and Lydia Williams still between the City sticks. So there's plenty of talent there.
And Casey Dumont, arguably the most informed keeper right now.
Oh, yeah, especially off the last game. She was really fantastic, and against Western Sydney as well.
Saved a couple of penalties and saved the victory a few points as well. They've won these last 4 games by a 1-goal margin. No one has ever won 5 straight W League games by a 1-goal margin. That's what City are looking to execute here. Sure, they'd love to make it 2-0 though. Simon. Van Egmond making a run. Can't get it over the top of Romero. Risky ball right across the face of goal. Emsley there to pounce. One back just as quickly by Celia, who can keep on rolling the Spaniard. Stopped by Checker. Emsley, great athlete, track back to help out defensively. Which way? Assistant, the pressure is on. She sides with Rigby.
80 minutes in, it still keeps going. Centre-hand stuff.
Lewick picks the pocket. Immediate forward ball for Van Egmond. Got to wait for Emsley to get back on side, and she did. Carpenter now. Back to Kinga. All the way back to halfway. And even further, Melbourne City with the patience that they've displayed right throughout the campaign. Now they can get it to Catley. You've got it, Steph, is the cry from the sideline. Oh! You've copped it right in the mush as well. Lewick cleans up her own teammate there.
Yeah, I don't think Steph was expecting that one. Thought Luke was going to put the ball in over the top, and she's just given it the bypass on Steph, through it right the way through.
Carpenter. Simon dropped between the lines and then stumbled as she looked to make the killer ball. Handful of shirt there, and a booking here for Emma Checker, trying to run away from the scene of the crime, but the referee has her number.
Yeah, Checker just getting a fistful of Douglas's shirt there. Just trying to pull her back and get back behind the ball. You can see Douglas does well, gets her body in the way, but Checker just gives a little bit of a nudge on the way through.
It's a chance for Perth to get numbers forward. Here is Carroll. Drops it into a handy spot, and the shot straight down the throat of Lydia Williams as it broke for Andrews.
And Andrews has been on the end of a few there. Lots of bodies in the way, so it's going to be hard for her to get a clean strike on goal, but did well nonetheless. But again, it wasn't really troubling Lydia.
All the way back to Lydia Williams. Lewick and Barnes going backwards now, trying to draw Perth out. Do Perth need to commit another player or two forward here to chase the game, or is that too risky?
No, I think they should. I think you're correct in that, Speedy. They're sitting back and they just need to get going.
Catley, Van Egmond maintaining the width, teases it back post. No one able to get there for City. And that's a foul committed by Carpenter, who thought she was going shoulder to shoulder. She dumped Rigby and cops the booking. Is that for the protest or the foul?
I thought this was a pretty fair attempt. You can see the ball's going out there. Rigby's done well to get a foot on it. Maybe a little bit late. Definite shoulder in it. I'm not sure if it was for the foul or for the little bit of back chat that proceeded after.
She's a real competitor, is Carpenter. Debuted for her country as a 15-year-old. 50th game for her tonight, somewhat overshadowed by Kaya's 100th. Playing for her third club to tally those 50 games. Former Wanderer and Canberra United player in her first season with City. Kinga able to poke it towards Van Egmond. Lewick keep it going to that right-hand side. Stott gets it out in front of Carpenter. No time to track it down as well. Van Egmond with the late run. Half-hearted cries for a handball. I think it was off the chest. Little 1-2 is on here for Catley. Closed down by Carroll. Suspicion that she may have handled it on the double ricochet. Catley, play on for Kinga. Oh, beautifully worked. Catley was taking on the strike at the end of it all. Has to settle for a corner. Kinga is such a crafty player.
She sure is. She just makes it look so easy. Just slides past there and then plays the ball straight into Catley's pass. Don't know if Steph had enough room there to actually get the shot off. She didn't in the end, being blocked, but you could see Emsley just hanging there for that to be flipped back.
Romero with more last-ditch stuff. And Egmond delivers. Campbell stays. Backed in her teammates to deal with it, and they did. Catley, good shape on her non-preferred right boot. Couldn't pick out the run, though. There's Lewick getting into the box.
Yeah, great ball in by Steph. Just gives herself some space out in front. And it's well weighted, and could see Ivy making that run. It was just a little bit in front of her.
Simon nods it on. Emsley trying to get around the blind side of Carroll. Awkward one for Campbell, who need it clear. Now Simon going for goal, and palmed aside by Campbell again. maintaining that 1-goal deficit for her team. Can they get it down the other end, though? Try and fashion an equaliser. Struggling to get out right now as Emsley earns another corner.
And again, Campbell, a nice strong hand on that and able to push it across. But Kaya's done well. She's hit it really well. You can see what she's trying to do, just bend it into that back stick. But Campbell gets across well and parries it out of the way.
You've got to get it top corner to get it away from Eliza Campbell.
It looks like it.
See those Save of the Week nominations go around every week on social media. I think Eliza Campbell's going to feature this week as Van Egmond delivers again. Good chance for stop for a rare brace. Still might get another one here. Carroll saw off the initial threat. Kinga around the corner. Lewick! Oh, that was a chance for Emsley coming in at the back post.
It was. Really didn't think the ball was going to end up there, but you've just got to gamble. You've got to keep running in, and she was in the right spot. She just had to just get into there a little bit quicker. Probably being fair, it was hit with some pace.
Now to find out how much stoppage time there'll be at the end of this game. 4 minutes being added on. City might just be starting to think about heading for the corners to see off these final few minutes. Maybe not. Van Egmond to Emsley. And another corner conceded. Catley with that leg strapped has copped a few knocks again this evening. He's told the bench he's okay, but certainly going to have a few bruises tomorrow.
Ref, come on.
This time they go short.
Kick it out, kick it out. Kick it out.
Catley able to shield it away. Kinga comes to join the little party and earns another set piece. Amazing how once that fourth official puts the board up, suddenly there's a time and a figure to see that time-wasting tactics begin. City have earned the right to do this, of course, after finding the goal to put them ahead in this second half. From Rebecca Stott, the New Zealand international, who switched allegiances from Australia before pledging her future to New Zealand. So TJ Vlanich plays her first game in a year for Melbourne City. She was an injury replacement player for Steph Catley last year, and you could say it's the case again here as Catley gets an early mark. Chance to put some ice packs on. TJ Vlanich, two-time championship winner with City, now on a full-time contract again. Throw in for Perth. Lewick able to get across, break things up, and not allow Perth to surge forward. Look where Stott's positioned here. Uses Carpenter. Not thinking about heading to the corner. Ellie, she'll settle for one instead. Less than 90 seconds of the minimum amount of stoppage time remain. Chance here perhaps for Perth. Campbell will have to settle for the goal kick in the end. As Kinga bounced it out of play.
Back, Emily!
Melbourne City had to solidify their spot at the top of the W League ladder before that showdown tomorrow night, the Sydney Derby. Coming your way live on Fox Sports. The Wanderers at home to Sydney FC. Game not to be missed. 5 p.m. kickoff tomorrow evening. Last touch, Vlanich. The ball kid eventually obliges. Perth just not committing enough players forward, as Kate Gill recommended earlier on. Simon about to celebrate victory in her 100th W League game. Family and friends in the stands to cheer her on. And they have done it, Melbourne City, by that 1-0 scoreline again. Make it 5 wins on the bounce. And all 5 by a 1-goal margin. The first time we've ever seen that in the history of the W League. Kaya Simon played a key part in the only goal of the game, heading towards goal, and then a little flick from Stott was key.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending round 6 of the Westfield.
And Melbourne City keep a clean sheet again. Lydia Williams not threatened too often. Perth Glory, 4 losses and a draw so far to start the campaign. They remain towards the bottom of the W League ladder, but Melbourne City are flying high full time at the ABD Stadium. It's Melbourne City 1, Perth Glory 0.
And our next big W League game.
And a chance for that rain reunion now. 5 players from that club on loan with these respective teams in the W League season. And as you can see on that live ladder, Melbourne City, fabulous start to the season. After missing the finals last time around, they've got 16 points out of a possible 18 and are clearly one of the teams to beat. As Bobby Despotovsky described them, the Melbourne City Matildas. So many Australian reps and also a Japanese World Cup winner, Yukari Kinga, a Scottish international who played at this year's World Cup, Claire Emsley.